Crow, 1994. I hate this lip color. I bought it twice on accident. More on that later. How are you? Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. It's been so long since we've like sat down and chatted about a creator in the YouTube sphere that wasn't dressed like Tammy Faye Baker. Welcome back to my channel, and if you've never been here before, if you have been here before, or if you haven't been here before and you just like making rushed decisions, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, or if you are already subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. I don't know what Susan's got cooking over at YouTube HQ. But my god, every time I upload a video, I lose 30 subscribers at least. I am down like 250 subscribers because I've been doing fucking Vlogmas. And everybody's telling me they're not getting their content pushed. Strike that, reverse it. They're not getting my content recommended to them anymore. I know it hasn't been stellar lately, but geez. Please just take a hot second. Make sure that the overlords have not unsubscribed you. And let's party. Today we are going back to a subject that we haven't touched in a really long time because there wasn't any reason to. In full disclosure, there's still not really much of a reason to, but there are a few things that like I kind of want to talk about. And quite frankly, this is my channel. And if you don't like it, well, oh well. Today we are talking about the one, the only, the timeless Gabby Hanna. Hear me out. I'm literally crooked. Why am I so crooked? What am I overcompensating for? You have any ideas? So I have personally been largely quiet about Gabby Hanna for the past few months. So much so that the last video I made about Gabby was part one of a two-part series that I never finished on purpose. Believe it or not, it wasn't just me forgetting. And I didn't finish it because I didn't feel like it was appropriate to at the time. If you're unaware of this, at the time Gabby was making sort of a therapeutic series of videos sort of exposing certain things about certain people after creating a huge stir up on social media in general. So she was sort of doing this multi-part series exposing the truth about various people and situations that have landed her in various controversies, scandals, however you want to put it. And she was met with a lot of contradictory evidence, receipts, and just like general pushback by myself included. I mean, I would include myself in that category. I've pushed back pretty hard at Gabby at some points. And I just want to say that I'm not really here to do that today, okay? So let me explain why. When I realized that Gabby was like taking a step back in between what was supposed to be my part one and part two of a series breaking down part of her series, she stopped antagonizing people. She retreated and for the most part wasn't causing any more issues with people. When I was making a plethora, great word, of Gabby content, one of the things I often said was that if social media was not for her, if it wasn't something she enjoyed, if it was something that brought her pain, put a strain on her mental health, that she should leave. She should at the very least take a break, focus on her music, focus on her art, stop engaging with it. And that's what she did. So if I continued to make videos about her at that point, that would make, I would not only be beating a dead horse, I would be a hypocrite. Are there still instances where Gabby needs to apologize to people? Yeah. Am I one of those people that deserves, requires, needs an apology, warrants an apology from Gabby? No. I found it in my best interest to just shut up entirely because continuing to talk about it perpetuates a conversation that didn't need to be further perpetuated. I found it in my best interest to just shut up except here, where I just continue to squawk about other things. And it's no secret at this point that I belonged to a community that was largely, there's no better way to put it than anti-Gabby. Despite wanting the best for her, wanting her to come out the other side, wanting to see her actually succeed in the long run, the community I belonged to was largely comfortable with being anti-Gabby. I no longer belong to that community, and for what it's worth, which may be absolutely nothing, and that's totally fine, I feel like while I still don't agree with Gabby's history of language, behavior, misrepresentation of mental illness, there's a slew of things that Gabby has done that I still do not agree with. I do feel like now I can look at things with a little bit more of an objective, impartial, unbiased lens, even though that's what I thought I had before. I still don't believe criticism needs to be constructive or nice. I have sort of realized that, like, no matter how unbiased you think you're being, like, you're always a little more biased than you thought you were. I've been doing like a lot of self-reflection for a very surface level person, if I'm being completely honest with you. What prompted me to want to make a video about all of these thoughts in my brain? Well, great question, me. I was on Instagram and I recently refollowed Gabby on Instagram. She still has me blocked on Twitter, which is totally fine. Set that boundary, girl. You do what you gotta do. I kind of want to talk about a few things that I've been observing on her Instagram, if you'll indulge me. And if you won't, well, you can fucking leave. Don't go. First of all, the other day she posted a really sad but really kind of hilarious clip to Instagram, but only hilarious because she used this filter. I'm not sure I'm not 100% sure what that filter is, but I think I need it all the time. The Instagram story was about how difficult social media still is for her.
Things online for a while, even though that's how I kind of like started my whole thing. But I feel like I have to, because if I don't, I'm gonna fucking explode. And I saw this post today about sometimes we ignore things to try to keep the peace, but what about our inner peace? And right now I don't feel inner peace because I'm so upset, because every time I just try to do my own thing and talk about things that I love and enjoy myself and promote my music and shit, something happens. And today it's just some random girl who I don't know, I've never seen. I tried to go to the account, somebody sent me the video and I blocked, so I haven't even seen the videos, but she just fakes conversations with me. And then my comment sections get just filled with like shit, man. I really hate social media a lot, and everybody always says just stay off social media, don't read the comments, whatever. But when you're ignoring all of that hate and darkness, you also don't get like the love and the light.
This was the first time I've seen Gabby like emote like this on social media in a really long time. And now with my new impartial glasses, I actually felt really bad for her. But this is my school of thought on the whole situation. This is a pattern now, right? Gabby does things. Gabby gets criticism / hate. Gabby cries about the criticism / hate. Gabby gets mad. Gabby freaks out on social media. Gabby leaves and regroups. Lather, rinse, repeat. So what's the solution? Well, I have a few ideas. 1, talk to a therapist that can help you work through the way you internalize hate from strangers. You know, it may never be able to be perfect. It may never be able to be good. Maybe in the long run, this isn't going to be for you, but you know, at least do the work to undo those knots in the meantime. 3, get a PR team to just handle all of your social media, delete the apps and never fucking come back. Because if it's not for you, if it hurts you that much, if it weighs on your mental health, it's not fucking worth it. D, talk back. And I want to be clear what I mean about this. I'm not talking about, oh, so as soon as I defend myself, it's not okay to say anything. No, I'm talking about when someone says,
hey, end yourself.
You can say something like,
hey, Is that really how you feel?
Do you really feel that way? Do you really think it's okay to send messages like this to people? Because there is a lot of power in good communication without becoming defensive and angry and freaking out on everybody that's ever wronged you in your entire life. Obviously, it's not going to work in every situation. Obviously, in some cases, it's more difficult to do than others. Meeting hate with hate or aggression with aggression, it's not working out for you. Try something new. Because here's the thing. I know from my comment section alone during this time on YouTube that a lot of Gabby's audience, and I mean, and I'm not saying like people who hate watch, I'm not saying people who like me and hate Gabby or whatever. I'm talking about Gabby's audience, people who started their comments with, I used to be a Gabby fan, but they were really hurt, and largely by all of the further stigmatization and misinformation around ADHD. It hurt a lot of her audience. And I'm not saying that these are the people leaving these hate comments or harsh criticisms, but let me break it down like this. You can't walk into a glass collectible store with a baseball bat that's got one of those like chains with the ball, the spiky ball on it, you know, and go swinging it the fuck around until you break everything in the store, and then leave and come back 6 months later and then like try to buy something nice for your grandma. You know what I mean?
Like Dr. Phil with these metaphors.
You can't upset and hurt a large part of your audience. Walk away, which by the way was a good choice. Don't get it twisted, Janice. Then come back, say nothing, and expect them to just pick up where y'all left off without tying up any of those loose ends. You may be better and more in control and working on yourself, but your audience, specifically the people who are affected by your words, were essentially like left on red. In the same realm of like this ADHD business is Gabby being back to talking about what she first referred to as debilitating OCD. A few months back when Gabby was talking about having OCD, I was really enraged, I guess. As someone with self-diagnosed and well-researched self-diagnosis of OCD, I will say that like everything Gabby described in the past about having OCD was exactly how people miscategorize OCD. Having an uneven haircut bother you is not OCD. Uneven haircut sending you into a panic attack until it gets fixed is more likely OCD. I want to be extra clear, and I'm gonna say it a couple times just so you hear it.
This isn't me saying Gabby Hanna does not have OCD.
And I don't think I'm the gatekeeper of OCD. I'm not. And I'm not trying to be. A lot of what Gabby says is OCD now is in reference to numbers. Seeing multiples of the same number in various places whenever she looks at the thing. It finds her, she doesn't find it. What this is describing is actually something called patternicity, is the tendency to perceive meaningful patterns and connections among unrelated events. I tested this out for myself as someone with OCD, but who does not necessarily care about patternicity. I'm not out looking for numbers. And I see it too, when I don't mean to. I'm seeing a lot of 4s, I'm seeing a lot of 2s. Now, I'm not like above like, you know, the numerology or any of the stuff that is related to seeing multiples of numbers. What I'm saying is that when you become aware of patterns like multiples of numbers, I would imagine that when you start to see this, your brain, your subconscious is while it's not necessarily looking for it, when it sees it, it's more likely to point it out to you in your brain, because you know that you were already looking at them, even if you're not actively looking for them. Does that make sense? I'm not a doctor. I'm not even a mental health advocate. I mean, I please take care of your mental health by all means. I'm just not, I can't be responsible. Can't be responsible for any of that. And again, this isn't me trying to like debunk Gabby's OCD or gatekeep anybody's OCD. And I know it's so therapeutic to talk about a disorder, specifically symptoms or experiences that are so specific to that disorder. Talking about that with people who actually understand, like, I get that. I don't get pointing out that you see the same number over and over to people on Instagram. You know what I mean? I don't feel like that's a commiserating. I don't think that's a commiserating experience. I don't know what it is. Something that I have learned about OCD in all of my like reading and research is that it's so different for everyone. For some, it really is the need for cleanliness and order. For some, it's intrusive thoughts. For others, it's doing something a certain number of times. For some, it's a combination of some or all of these things. For some, it's completely different things. I guess my reason for bringing it up is I would love to see an OCD journey rather than screenshots of multiple numbers and multiples on Instagram, especially because OCD is so misunderstood. Much like her journey with ADHD, which is a widely stigmatized disorder and often also misunderstood. I would like to see something from like suspicion to diagnosis to treatment to outcome to, you know, I would be wildly interested to watch something like that and not like,
My hair is crooked, it bothers me, that darn OCD.
you know, like a few final thoughts and then I'll go. Whatever's happening with this hair, I like it. The dark bangs with the blonde hair, kind of cool. Much better than whatever it is she had going on before, and I hope this look stays because I think it's great. Her new music, okay, she had it was on her reels. I think it's also on her TikTok. Her song with like Landon, whatever the fuck. From what I've heard, look, it's never been a secret that I like Gabby's music, okay? It's catchy, it's whatever, leave me alone. Except for the last lines of Medicate where she's saying Bedicate, and I don't understand why. Whatever this song is, I really, really like it. I won't play it for you because I like getting paid, but it's on her Instagram reels and again, I think on her TikTok. And whenever it's released, I'm going to be obsessed with it because I really like it. Finally, I am so absolutely confused about something I saw on her Instagram yesterday. And I'm gonna see if you can help me figure out what the fuck is going on here. What is she doing hanging around Farrah Abraham? People know who Farrah Abraham is, but if you don't, let me give you a brief synopsis. Listen to me and my lipstick. Farrah Abraham was on 16 and Pregnant, okay? The original iteration of 16 and Pregnant, which then turned into the original iteration of Teen Mom. She was always kind of a bitch and like really rude to her mother, who, by the way, her mother makes quality YouTube content. So Farrah left her daughter Sophia when Sophia was like 3 or 4 to move to Florida so that they could have some space from each other. Then she did a porn video that she tried to pass off as a sex tape, and she used sort of the Teen Mom name to do so. She was awful to cast, awful to crew of Teen Mom. Farrah's a fucking shit show. So like if you guys want Teen Mom or Teen Mom 2 content, let me know because it is the only reality show I have ever been interested in and I have things to say about everything. Like Farrah's daughter Sophia, who's like 12 or 13 now, has just been like dragged on this fucking ride of Farrah's life. Like I'm all for sex work. Girl, get your coin, do what you gotta do, just be safe and all that jazz. Also, maybe just don't like expose your children to it. No boundaries, bad. And also, Farrah posted this.
Work, that light work. I'm handing out cease and desist today to some Teen Mom cast members who wanted to gang up and like totally be like, I don't know, racist in their own way. But anyways, cease and desist day. We're gonna be seeing it because I ain't dealing with it when the show comes out. I handle my business like a true adult.
Just see those sleigh bells jingling, ring, tingle, tingling too.
I love that juxtaposition. And this. Fuck woman abusers. Yes. Fuck abortion. No. Fuck Tristan Thompson. Who hasn't? Get a vasectomy, womanizers. Yes. The Texas government was right. No. Abortion is part of women's health care, okay? I don't recommend using it as birth control, but it's absolutely part of women's health care. And the fact that it's being touted around on a platter by cis white men who couldn't find a clitoris with a map, 2 hands, and a flashlight is enraging. It fills me with an indescribable rage that I can't even put into words. A lot of shit up for grabs in the 2022 midterms. Make sure we're out there voting so Todd Q white guy doesn't move into my uterus and teach it how to use a gun. Thanks. All that to say, I have no idea why Gabby wants to align herself with that, but here we are. Maybe it's just a brand deal. Maybe it's a kinship meant to be. Maybe they'll turn on each other and the internet will implode. Again, maybe it's Maybelline. It's Maybelline. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. If you like this video, please feel free to give a like. Please remember to make sure you're still subscribed to my channel if you like being here, so you never miss a Dr. Phil metaphor. I'm full of them. And Robin. What's up? Like, dislike the video, do what you gotta do. New podcast episode is live over on the I'm Uncomfortable podcast YouTube, on Spotify, I believe on Apple Music. I don't know, you gotta talk to Neely about that. Maybe I should do that. Who knows? This week we talked about seeing strangers' dicks, my weird fascination with Tony Blair, and soda, among other things. So, that doesn't get your titties tickled, I don't know what will. Patreon, my social media are all linked down below. I just put up a video, a new nostalgia, 90s kids nostalgia video over on my Patreon. So if you're part of my Patreon, that's over there for you if you didn't know. Oh my God, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.